Hello everyone! As you all may know by now, as a lad, I was surrounded by Latin American culture and learned a great deal about enjoying and preparing this cuisine. When I was in my 20s, I moved to Mexico for almost a year to apprentice under a great chef. I consider myself lucky to have had these experiences, but also kind of spoiled, and therefore I'm now pretty hard to please. So when I moved to Las Vegas 8 years ago, I began searching for great Mexican food. After asking many locals and tapping into Vegas food blogs, the recurring advice was to hop on a plane and return to Southern California. I ignored that rather extreme suggestion and continued my Vegas search. It took me quite a while to find the caliber of great food I'd grown up with. Finally, I found a place with excellent and authentic Mexican food. That place is Los Lupes 2 Mexican Restaurant, located at 5255 South Decatur in Spring Valley, less than 10 minutes west of the Strip. One bite of their food, and it felt like coming home. At last, I found real authentic Mexican food in Vegas. They have a sister restaurant in Mesquite, Nevada. I hear it's insanely popular. Los Lupes 2 serves up some of the best and most authentic Mexican cuisine this side of the border. And make sure to stay tuned until the end, because Los Lupes has an amazing offer for you that you won't want to miss. We began with these free homemade chips and salsa. Right away, I knew this place was authentic.
You had me at homemade chips.
These are the kind of salsas you find in Tijuana. As I mentioned before, that's where we ate when I was a kid, since we were lucky enough to live so close to the international border. I spent a lot of time crossing over to eat in Tijuana, and Los Lupes reminds me of that wonderful food you can only find there. The tomato salsa is made with fresh tomatoes, garlic, onion, cilantro, and a hint of oregano. It's bright, bold, and fresh, and leaves a lasting imprint. The Verde is a tart blend of tomatillos, hatch chilies, cilantro, onions, and garlic. It has a distinctive, satisfying bite with just a bit of spice. Nothing that will knock you over. It's wonderful. And finally, the chipotle. Fresh roasted chipotle chilies, subtle herbs and spices, and has deep, rich, burnt notes that give it a warm, addicting flavor. These aren't your typical commercial salsas. They taste homemade as though your Mexican grandmother was in their kitchen. I could eat nothing but the chips and salsa here and be very happy indeed. I'm also obsessed with their pickled carrots. They may be some of the best I've ever tasted. This is a wonderful blended lime margarita. It's icy, crisp, and refreshing. Sweet, but not too sweet. The tartness from the lime gives it a lot of pizzazz. The salt on the rim is just perfect. I love it when there's a mound of salt along the entire rim. They give you a choice of sugar or salt. All the margaritas can be made with top shelf or regular tequila. We also have this fresh squeezed orange margarita, and it's sensational. I also ordered the strawberry margarita. It's made with fresh strawberries and blended with tequila and ice. Again, I opted for the salt on the rim. Personally, I can't imagine drinking a margarita with a sugared rim, but to each his own. As my mom used to say, if everyone had the same taste, they'd all be married to my husband. Well, anyway, I highly recommend the fresh-made margaritas here. They're delicious. Wow, this is a perfect way to start off a meal. Quesadillas are one of the most, if not the most, loved appetizers, and this is just fantastic. First of all, the Pastore is incredible. I'm going to have to order a soft Pastore taco so I can better assess this amazing recipe. The cheese is so creamy and delicious, and the tortillas have been fried in wonderfully hot lard in a cast iron pan, and that gives it such a wonderful, unique flavor. Add a little of their fresh guacamole and sour cream to enhance the flavors even more. Well, we're off to a flying start. Served with rice and beans, and either an enchilada or chili relleno. The steak here is anything but bland. Very rich, deep umami flavors. It's been marinated in salt and garlic, which is giving this meat a wonderful flavor. Then, grilled to perfection. The meat's of very good quality. You don't need a knife to cut it, it's so tender. I'm not sure exactly what additional seasoning they've used on the steak, but the flavor is intense and I love it. They serve it with a choice of corn or flour tortillas. We got a combination of both. I love this chili relleno, even though it's a little hard to find in here. It's covered in sauce and cheese, but trust me, it's here. Relleno is full of flavor. The Anaheim chili is stuffed with a wonderful Monterey Jack cheese, and it's perfectly prepared. The chili sauce is made with dried chilies that have been toasted and ground up to make the sauce. I really enjoyed this dish. Since the Pastore was so good, I had to order it in taco form to taste the purest version of it. And it's probably one of the best Pastore tacos I've ever had. I'm not surprised, everything here is great. Pastore was brought to Mexico from the Middle Eastern migrants who set out to make shawarma but couldn't find the exact ingredients they had in their country. So they improvised, and I'm so grateful for their invention. I can taste warm notes of chilies, garlic, cloves, oregano, and of course, pineapple. If I weren't here to film this review, I'd order another few of these. Simply fantastic. This Carnitas taco is wonderful. Carnitas is deep fried pork. It's probably the most popular meat eaten in Mexico. There are many restaurants that are dedicated to serving nothing but this beautifully fried, delicious pork. This Carnitas is amazing. So full of fresh, porky, rich goodness and not at all greasy. It's been perfectly seasoned with lots of salt and pepper. Good Carnitas doesn't require much else apart from frying the pork in its own fat. Yet another excellent soft shell taco dish. Carne Asada, one of the most popular meats in Mexico. Steak is seasoned, marinated, and then charred till it's infused with that rich, smoky, umami flavor. Next, it's chopped and then served on a wonderful warm tortilla. Top it with chipotle salsa, fresh squeezed lime, and lettuce and tomato. It's delicious this way. Well, overall, I totally recommend the soft shell tacos here. They are amazing. Okay, so far, this is my least favorite thing on the menu. It's a good tamale, but not the best I've ever had. The sauce is wonderful, but the tamale itself is a little bland compared to everything else they serve here. I guess I'm used to another kind of tamale. When I lived in California, every Christmas our Mexican friends made them for us. I'm used to them coming in a dried corn husk wrapper. These are more the restaurant type, which I've had many times in Mexico, and they're very authentic, but not the variety I'm used to and personally that I like the best. The sauce, again though, is phenomenal. The fajitas with steak, shrimp, green, and red bell pepper. They come out to your table screaming hot. You can hear them sizzling away in their cast iron pan, hotter than the face of the sun, and are off the hook good. I honestly think they put Juan's flaming fajitas to shame. These prawns are super fresh. One bite and they come to life in your mouth. I love the charred flavor they have infused with the chilies and onions. Taste is breathtaking. They're not afraid of using salt here, as they are in many restaurants these days. They push seasoning to the limits. These are a standout dish. Almost every time I come here, I just have to get this. It's my all-time favorite thing to order at Los Lupes. It's the sample platter.
Un poco de todo.
A little of everything. This taquito is sensational. You can have it with either chicken or beef. It reminds me of the food I got in Mexico as a kid. The flauta is a flour tortilla stuffed with shredded beef and deep fried. Wow, it has so much deep, rich umami flavor. And dipped into Los Lupes' fantastic salsas just makes it even better. The taco is chicken today. It's so light and crispy and filled to the brim with fresh, wonderful, shredded chicken meat. Add some of the fresh tomato salsa they make, and I promise you're gonna love it. There's a beautiful enchilada hiding under all this delicious sauce and sour cream. And wow, it's just what an enchilada should taste like. Warm notes of chili in the sauce and fabulous filling. The rice and beans here, some of the best anywhere. Overall, just a wonderful dish. If you love pozole, then this is a great place to get a warm bowl of comfort. Pork bones make this broth very rich and delicious. From what I understand, Las Vegas locals flock to Los Lupes on the weekends to enjoy this wonderful soup. It's full of cooked pork and hominy, and comes with tortillas, cilantro, chili flakes, chopped onions, and lime on the side. A beautiful traditional weekend treat to be eaten with friends and family. You're gonna love it. Leaving Hollywood for Vegas nearly 10 years ago was a difficult time for me. I fell in love in my teen years with Los Tacos, a fast food restaurant in West Hollywood that made the best crispy beef tacos I'd ever tasted. Once moving to Vegas, I was on a quest to find a crispy beef taco that could rival those at Los Tacos. Well, here at Los Lupes, I finally found its equal. I think the common denominator is lard. Both Los Tacos and Los Lupes use lard to fry in, and nothing imparts as spectacular a taste to Mexican cuisine as does lard. The beef here has so much flavor, it's just incredible. Come fall in love with this taco as I have. Love is just as wonderful the second time around. We had struck up a conversation with the family at the next table. When we saw them devouring something, it was hard to make out exactly what it was given the feeding frenzy going on. I asked Javi, the father, and he told us it was the asada fries. We served a similar dish at our restaurant, and they were always a huge hit. So we ordered them without hesitation, and wow, they are terrific. How could they not be? Pico de gallo, guacamole, cilantro, and sour cream. Oh, and of course, Los Lupes' fabulous Carne Asada. The fries are wonderful here. The lard makes them crispy and delicious. You can't stop eating them. I dare you to eat just one. This whole fried fish thing, it's something I haven't ordered in many years. But so many people I know obsess over it that I've just had to try it here at Los Lupes to see what their version of this dish was like. It takes me back to Acapulco, where they catch the fish with their bare hands in crystal blue waters, and then it's prepared in a small casita on the beach. This fish tastes very fresh and clean. I'm loving it. The flavor being fried in lard is amazing, and the peppers and onions are a wonderful addition. They give you a creamy lemon sauce on the side, but honestly, you don't really need it. The pure, unadulterated flavor of the fish is just spectacular. This is a great dish to split, since it's a giant fish and very filling. And as with many dishes here, it comes with rice and beans or fries. First of all, this is a wonderful steak. Perfectly seasoned, and the meat very tender. Truly steakhouse quality. The lobster is one of the best I've had here in Vegas. It tastes very fresh, and it's white and clean looking. The sauce is a lemony butter sauce that perfectly coats the tail. It's great to dip into and get as much as you can on the lobster. It comes with either fries or these great rice and beans. You can't go wrong with either. I really enjoyed this dish. These are like an enchilada suiza, but with nice big prawns in place of chicken. And anything with shrimp here is very special, since the quality of the shrimp is just spectacular. As you already can guess, I'm obsessed with all the salsas here, so it should come as no surprise that the Verde on these enchiladas is just fantastic. It's a perfectly balanced sauce with tomatillos, green chilies, cilantro, garlic, and onions. This is a great dish, and I highly recommend this. This is a wonderful wet burrito. As I previously noted, I'm crazy about the Pastore here. There are a lot of spices involved, but none of them stick out too much. And I think that's really the mark of a well-made Pastore. I love the homemade sauce on top. It's made with dried chilies, fresh chilies, tomato, garlic, and oregano. This is a must-try dish when you come here. This is one of my favorite things to order in a Mexican restaurant. I love the warm caramel flavor the outer crust takes on from the melted sugar and cinnamon. The exterior is so crunchy, and the contrast of the warm exterior to the rich, cold ice cream interior is just fantastic. Drizzled with chocolate syrup and topped with whipped cream and cherry. I love this dessert. It reminds me of a dish I had many years ago at a Massachusetts dive bar, chocolate pizza. It was a hot pizza crust with chocolate on top and a bowl of vanilla bean ice cream. The temperature contrast was fantastic, and this dish has that as well. I just loved it. Custard and I go way back. We've been in a wonderful relationship ever since I can remember. In fact, I've rarely met a custard I didn't like. And this is one of the best flans I've ever tasted. So rich and creamy, I love the chocolate sauce. The texture is light and firm and reminiscent of a wonderfully buttered custard with rich notes of vanilla and a hint of caramel late in the game. This would be a great way to end the meal here, but we have a few more desserts to go. Our server suggested this apple chimichanga. While I can't say I've ever had this dish before, given that I rarely meet a dessert I don't like, I was excited to give this a try. This is sort of the Mexican equivalent of an apple strudel. A nice caramelized apple interior and a crunchy cinnamon exterior. They're served with a fantastic vanilla ice cream. If you're an apple lover, this is a dessert for you, and a surprise in a Vegas Mexican restaurant. We're both obsessed with churros. The first time I ever tasted one was as a kid in Los Angeles on famed Alvarado Street. And these taste just like those. Soft in the middle, uber fresh, with a slight crunch on the exterior. They take about 20 minutes to be made, since they make them from scratch when you order them. So as you're finishing up your main meal, do yourself a favor and tell them to start getting them ready for you. Anytime we see them on a menu, we get them. And to be honest, even in some of the best Mexican places, they're not really that good. But these are without a doubt, today, as good as any I've ever tasted. Well, spectacular desserts don't often come to mind when I think of Mexican restaurants. But clearly, Los Lupes has excellent Mexican desserts. And this time, we were able to return the favor to Javi. Well, mostly to his young children. They saw the feeding frenzy going on, this time at our table, and were excited to find out what we ordered and what was our favorite. They're all terrific, I said, but the flan, well, don't miss the flan. They didn't, and the desserts disappeared as quickly at their table as they had at ours. I'm so happy to share Los Lupes with you today. It was the first honest-to-goodness, authentic Mexican restaurant I discovered here in Vegas. After growing up so close to the border and being exposed to terrific Mexican food, I was spoiled. Here, things are made the way they should be, with love and lard. The sauces are nothing short of spectacular, and the service is very friendly. As for the dish of the day, a very difficult choice. The crispy beef taco is a thing of beauty. You don't find crispy tacos like this just anywhere. The Pastore burrito was incredible, and I was thinking about it days later. And the fajitas are out of this world. But, given the variety of items and the high caliber of each, the dish of the day has to go to the sampler platter. And it's sort of a twofer, as you get a nominee for Dish of the Day, the crispy beef taco, within the sampler as part of the deal. And speaking of deals, the sampler platter is outstanding in that department as well. Finally, here's a special offer we told you about in the intro. Tell them Let's Eat Vegas sent you, and when you buy a margarita, you get the second one free, or get a free fountain drink. This is an amazing deal, not to be missed. This offer is good till the end of 2024. Well, we'll be back to Los Lupes too very soon. Who knows? Maybe you'll see us there.
And don't forget to tell them Let's Eat Vegas sent ya.
I know we're all guilty of watching YouTube videos and not participating. Please like, comment, subscribe, or even become a VIP member. It means a lot to us, and it helps us grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit.